Welcome back to the Spooky Skeletons podcast. Today, I have a very special story, true story, to tell you about the Wendigo. It's a true story, by the way. This is not funny. You're not allowed to laugh at this, okay? We're not allowed to be funny. It's true. It's scary, all right?
Okay.
And I'm all bricked up right now.
Bricked up.
With fear, not with blood. Today, I'm going to be reading you a true story called The Wendigo of the Tongass.
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 It's pronounced Tongass, but fast. Tongass. The Wendigo.
Not Tongass.
Of the Tongass. Tongass.
Okay.
By the way, this is a true story.
Okay.
So feel free. I know you're bricked up right now.
I am very bricked up.
Same. Are you, the viewer at home, also bricked up? Let us know in the comments below. Just kidding, that'd be weird. This episode of the Spooky Skeletons podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. You like how I rolled that one at the end? BetterHelp. Is there something interfering with your happiness or something that is preventing you from achieving your goals, Clint?
Yeah.
What is it?
I'm never happy no more.
Well, why?
Why?
Why not?
'Cause
I have an idea for you. Go to betterhelp.com/spook.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. And you'll be connected with a therapy professional, mental health professional. Okay.
They'll help me?
And 10% off as well if you use the code SPOOK for the Spooky Skeletons podcast. One time only. Guys, also, if you do this so we can have more episodes of this podcast, all right? Because this thing takes a lot of effort. What is BetterHelp? I just heard you ask.
What is BetterHelp?
BetterHelp is an app designed to help you with your mental health needs. You can start communicating with professional therapists in just under 48 hours, which is pretty cool because it takes much longer to talk to a therapist in real life.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
And they're mean.
Real therapist?
No. Mine was very nice.
Yeah?
Forget his name. I haven't seen him since August, since I was homeless, right when I needed him most. Just kidding. The service BetterHelp is available for clients worldwide, and it is more affordable than traditional offline therapy, which that is true, because traditional offline therapy is fucking expensive.
It is.
It's very expensive. Mine was like $150 per visit, and I was going once a month.
Yeah.
But initially it was like once every 2 weeks or whatever. Financial aid is also available, and BetterHelp wants you to start living a happier life today. Visit betterhelp.com/spook. SPOOK. BetterHelp.com/SPOOK today and join the over 2 million people who have taken charge of their mental health with the help of an experienced professional. Special offer, Spooky Skeletons Podcast, 10% off. Thank you guys so much. The forest was far-reaching, dense, and ancient. That's a bold starting sentence right there.
Yes, it is.
Who wrote this?
What's
Henry David Thoreau?
It's an ancient forest?
Ancient.
What's the newest forest?
It was released in 2014. It stars a man who survives a plane crash. He finds his kid.
There's a new one coming out.
Yeah, the
Son of the Forest.
That looks good, though.
It does look good.
Tongass National Forest was a natural fort with spruce, cedar, and hemlock trees being its high impregnable walls. The golden rays of light peeked through the deep-rooted giant leaves and bathed the damp, fertile forest below, springing life to ferns and other foliage. Patches of flowers gave color to the already green earth and brought depth to the otherwise flat open fields. There was a choir of creatures creating a melody of tweets, growls, and groans, filling the forest with the life of creatures other than humans. While only reaching temperatures of 60 degrees Fahrenheit in the summer and far lower in the following seasons, it was still a thriving rainforest. For thousands of years, this land had been called home by several tribes of Native Americans.
But just recently, it had become a popular camping spot in the summer months. Fucking yuppies, hipsters,
Coming in and camping
ruining the
on
ground.
the natives' land.
Camping and eating shit.
Leaving shits.
Yeah, pieces of shit.
Pieces of shit, I tell you.
Guided camping trips became frequent over the years, bringing more business and more tourists to experience the true beauty of the natural world, just as those thousands of years before would have. These expeditions would often include 10 people, with 2 being the tour guides. Campers would drive to a welcome center within the park bringing all of their belongings, including food, water, tents, and other amenities and tools, then take a 13-hour hike to the campground. However, as much as tourism had increased, so did the number of missing persons. Such a thing is common for national
parks. We know this.
We do.
Missing
We do.
411. We're well aware of the missing persons cases, the mysterious, documented, unsolved missing persons cases related to the national forests of the United States.
There's a shit ton.
There's a lot. There's a disturbing amount.
Yeah, it's very weird.
Makes you never want to go outside ever again.
Not on public land.
Nope.
Thousands of people go missing a year all over the states, but this was strange. Many of these people were never found, some even being on guided trips disappearing in the night. It was continuously brushed off by younger people as foolish campers losing their direction, then freezing to death in the night. But some had other thoughts. Cowell was one of these younger people. He was what some would call an outside guy, frequently going on hikes and nature walks, but never quite taking the dare to go camping.
Until today. Camping's darish?
Oh, very daring.
Extremely
Yes.
It's dangerous out there.
It's exhilarating.
Is
Okay.
it? I like the part when you don't shower for 2 days.
Same.
Waking up camping is the worst thing ever. I hate it so much.
Not a
Yeah.
fan.
You have to like forget that you woke up. Like
Yeah.
you have to do stuff immediately to forget that you woke up.
Yep.
I'm an outside guy. I like going on hike, looking at trees.
You sure about that?
No, that's a lie right there, buddy.
Cowell had lived in Colorado his whole life, of course adventuring outside the state, but never this far. He traveled to Alaska by himself. Being alone never really bothered Cowell. He went on these trips intending to get some alone time, but with it being his first time camping, he didn't think it'd be wise to do so alone. Thankfully for him, 9 strangers weren't much of a crowd, but he was concerned about how close he would be to the tented next to him. His plane ride to Alaska had taken 9 hours, including a single layover in Washington.
The plane was also at half capacity. So not that many people going to Alaska, it turns
not
out.
at all.
Maybe it's a shithole.
They call it the last frontier for a reason.
Isn't that space?
That's
the
the
final
other
frontier?
That's the last. The show is Alaska, the last frontier.
Yeah.
And also their license plates say that.
Yeah, it is the last American frontier.
Yes.
The final piece of the West.
Yep.
And then space will be soon.
You know what? They never mentioned the ocean in that. We haven't done much in the ocean.
8%, they say?
Yeah.
8% of the ocean has been delved.
Yeah.
Says who, bro?
Says
I can
the
look
scientist.
at all the
Scientist.
ocean with Google Maps.
Well, but can you? Okay,
don't
you
know.
zoom in. You zoom in, and it's not very detailed.
I've seen Atlantis off the coast of Ireland.
What?
Yeah.
You know where Atlantis is, and you're keeping this inside, bottled up inside you until right now.
You know how I got it out of me? How I finally figured it out that I should tell everyone?
Yeah.
By contacting BetterHelp, our sponsor. Use code SPOOK. This had already delighted Cowell.
He didn't have to sit next to anyone on his plane, and he wouldn't be bothered. It also reinforced his idea of Alaska being increasingly barren of people. When the plane arrived, Cowell was astonished by the size of the airport, which appeared to be 2 buildings and a large array of hangars.
Like in DayZ.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
DayZ Airport.
Yeah.
He stretched his legs, used the bathroom, retrieved his luggage, and made way to the shuttle bus which would take him to the Welcome Center. When the bus had taken off, assuming everyone was on, there were only 10 people, including Cowell and the bus driver himself. Cowell assumed that these were the other campers looking at their gear, and attire made it very apparent. The group talked sparingly amongst themselves as the bus drove. There were 3 couples, and the rest had come there solo as well, much like Cowell. Among the 2 other solos was an older man.
He was an experienced camper, but had grown too old to be out somewhere like this, all on his own, reliably. The other appeared to be a young scout in his late teens. Only got like scout, like the Team Fortress class, or like what kind of scout? Like a Boy Scout?
I think
Only God could know what these 2 specimens were going to do in such a place.
They were very friendly to each other, the boy sharing his minimal experience in camping stories, with the old man sparingly giving his most interesting stories. Several times, the other groups would try and engage Cowell, and he'd reply, but he always managed to come off as cold. The bus arrived at the Welcome Center after about a 5-hour drive and dropped off all the campers. They still had 30 minutes before their guides would come and direct them to the camping grounds, so they all enjoyed the warmth of the indoors for one last time. Inside the building was reminiscent of a cabin, and the only sources of heat or a single large fireplace stationed at the center. Besides the campers, there were 2 other people in the building, an older man in his 70s and what seemed like one of the tour guides. They appeared to have gotten into a bit of a disagreement on what wasn't exactly clear.
Cal could make out only a few keywords, including dangerous, new location, and a few other concerning words.
Was Wendigo one of them?
Wendigo. Dangerous, concerning, new location. We've spotted a Wendigo.
So why is Cal so cold to the couples?
Because he's a introvert. He's a Colorado introvert, spending too much time with his head in the clouds.
It makes sense.
You
Makes
know?
sense. He spends too much time on Discord.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yes.
Too much time on Discord with his friends. You can't get friends on Discord.
No. Kittens.
Some time had gone past since the camp guides had readied everyone and headed out on the Outberg Chasm trailhead, a trail Cal recognized as different to the one given on the pamphlet when signing up. Being at the front of the line by one of the guides, Cal questioned them on this. The guide replied that the old trailhead had a rock slide and wasn't safe to traverse, so they would have to take an alternative route.
He assured him it was just as scenic and far less traveled.
Just like that.
Yeah, take a minute.
That was scenic right there.
No, oh my God. I'm afraid it might get captured up in there. You know, like stay in it.
Oh, yeah. You think I'm going to get
Smells
pink
like
eye?
fajita.
If I get too close to your mic?
I ate a fajita earlier. Like 40 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Already smells like fajita.
The path was just slightly longer so they couldn't stay out too long to avoid nightfall. Cal receded to the back of the line with all his questions asked and answered. He disliked being in the front, having everyone's eyes on him. Strangely, in doing so,
that feeling never went away. Being watched. He feels like he's being watched.
The whole time, even when he was in the back.
Yep. And also, we got confirmation that he is in fact an introvert.
Absolutely.
Introverted little bitch.
Yes.
Pussy.
Yeah, this guy doesn't talk to people that often. He did talk to the guide.
True.
Went out of his way to speak to the guide.
Yeah.
And he went out of his way to go to Alaska.
Yeah. And
It
also,
ain't like him. I know him well.
that's true.
They walked further and further along the trailhead, with the sun directly above them almost completely hidden by the canopy of trees, giving a faint yellowish-green light to the forest below. After walking for an hour and a half, they stopped for 5 minutes for a quick break. The 2 guides wandered off about 50 feet away and were examining something hanging from a tree. To Cowell's confusion, they seemed concerned by it. He walked over to the 2 concerned guides and had accidentally startled them. What was hanging was a rope.
With what appeared to be bird bones and a bird skull crudely tied together. That's when you start running. You start running and you don't stop and you don't look back and you fucking just keep on running as fast as you possibly can.
All the way back to fucking Colorado.
Yeah, back to Colorado. Run through Canada.
Can you do that?
Can you run into a country? Is that like Mexico to U.S.? No.
Yeah, no.
But Canada, they seem a lot more friendly up there.
Yeah, especially like, I think if you tell them what you just saw, I saw a bird tied up in a tree.
Yeah, they'd be like, oh, okay, and then let you through.
Yeah.
Oh, here's some Tims. Here's some Tim Hortons.
The guides quickly stepped in front of it and ushered Cowell back to the rest of the campers, where they continue their walk. However, the guides seem agitated and alert. The sun begins to set, and a reddish-orange light peeks its way past the thick trunks of trees. It is beginning to get too late to continue forward. Cowell notices the guides' agitation once again. They seem hesitant to want to stop here for the night, but traveling in the dark is a far worse alternative. Having so many people together in a tight area could attract the attention of bears and other animals according to the guides. So the group was split into 2 groups of 5.
Groups of 5 members.
That seems like ill advice.
Yeah. Split up into smaller groups. Have you ever seen a horror movie?
No,
Don't
I haven't.
do that.
I don't like them. You know
Don't
that.
split up into groups of 5.
Yeah, no.
Do not do that.
Nah.
Stay together, hold hands, and get naked.
Exactly.
All right? Get naked and just start fucking. All right?
Bear ain't gonna come and mess up your orgy.
Bear ain't gonna come while you're coming.
He waits.
He's very polite and considerate. He's a good,
Might
good man.
watch creepily, but he ain't gonna get
That's also
involved.
what Danny the dog man does.
Cowell joined the group with the old man and the scout, and they headed about 100 yards up the trail and set up camp. Cowell and his group tried to start a bonfire to cook, but the guide quickly stopped them, still using the excuse that they could attract large animals. so they ate what dry food they had brought, like protein bars. Everyone ate their food and went into their tent when seemingly out of nowhere, a rainstorm hit.
Just all of a sudden.
All of a sudden,
It's raining.
You didn't know this, guys, because you're watching a YouTube video. If you're watching a YouTube video, but Wendigos have a special ability to control the weather.
They do.
All right, they're like a Bond villain. They're like Bond villains, but scarier, I guess.
Yeah.
But they resemble Homer Simpson.
Yes.
They look
Yeah.
like Homer Simpson. They're
They do, but
a
without his looks.
lipless ape is what they've been described as looking like.
Thanks to the canopy of trees and the elevation of the ground, Cal's group remained mostly dry, while he remembered the other group had camped in the lower ground with fewer trees to protect them. It wasn't his problem, and they'd likely solve it themselves.
So he went to sleep.
I like Cal.
Cold bastard.
Yep, I like Cal.
Cold bastard. I like Cal. He's a
Ain't
good
my
dude.
problem.
Ain't my problem. I down there in the holler. The next morning, Cal woke to the sound of dripping water, birds tweeting, and the smell of damp earth, along with shouting. Imagine waking up to that right there.
Birds chirping and
He had gotten out of his tent with seemingly nothing wrong except the couple that was with their group had disappeared.
oh shit.
That's not good.
That's not good at all.
That's not good. I was like, uh-oh. All right. The couple with the group is gone. They're gone. It had been 10 minutes since the guide had woken up and noticed that they weren't in their tent. Perhaps they just went to relieve themselves in the woods. But all their food was missing as well. So maybe they ate it all and then had to go diarrhea into the woods.
It's possible.
It is possible.
They weren't able to heat anything up, so.
True. They could have diarrhea in the woods.
Yeah.
You know the video of the guy recording his two old neighbors, and it like goes down to the woman. She's like, hello. And he goes,
Yes.
Oh, there's no illegal
And on the
drugs in my
property.
garage.
Oh, yes, there is, and there's evidence of it.
What?
there.
Woo,
Hello,
There's
darling.
no illegal.
Their hiking sticks, boots, and everything else in their bag had been scattered around the grounds. It made no sense.
The guide told Cal, the old man, and the scout to head over to where the other group had camped to see if they had seen the couple, and that he would wait there just in case they returned. As Cal and his group arrived at the other campsite, they found it vacant. Cal expected this, but what he didn't expect was to find absolutely no sign of them leaving.
He expected that?
That I guess that they like started to walk forward, move on, but not that they like as if he found them just disappeared.
Yeah.
He expected that they may have been leaving or they're dead. It
Wendigo
seems like they got Wendigoed.
Seems like they got Wendigoed.
They got
hard.
mollywopped. Yep.
That's something different, I think.
I think that's what you do in Halo when you get a kill. They checked the mud and any other place that may have boot tracks, but they found nothing. They heard their guide calling from the direction that they had come from. Perhaps he had found the missing couple. The group headed back up the trail with the hair standing on their neck. Something was definitely off here. Yeah, you don't fucking say, bro.
Yeah.
Everyone's gone.
Oh, it's fine.
Yeah, it's
They're
vacant.
just shitting in the woods, all of them.
Yeah, big orgy, shit orgy. Big shit orgy out in the woods.
What's that look like? What does that even look like?
Oh, 50 people holding hands in a circle shitting. Imagine that. Imagine that, if you will. That's like a Twilight Zone episode.
Yeah.
Imagine a world. 50 people in the woods, holding hands, simultaneously shitting. As they walked, Cal stared up into the canopy to see similar bone-like structures. Are you looking?
I'm looking up in the canopy.
You see anything up there?
I see bone-like structures.
What? Fuck! They dotted the dark green roof like stars in the night sky. It was hard to make out what type of bones they were, but these looked far larger than just a bird. They arrived back at their campsite to find it vacant as well. The guide who had been beckoning them was no longer there. They called out different names for a while of people in their group, but got no response until they heard the guide call once more.
What in the hell's happening?
This is escalating extremely quickly.
Yeah.
This should be a movie.
This should be a movie. 100%
True
this
story.
should be a movie.
This is really good. Are you bricked up again?
I haven't stopped.
You're leaking like a faucet down there.
So the bones.
Everyone's gone.
The bones are people.
I guess so.
They're bigger than birds. We know that much. I'm saying it's people.
I think it's people up there hanging. It's just Cowell, the old man, and the scout left.
Yes.
And they're walking. Dude,
They're
this is
walking
great.
back to their camp.
And they just heard the guide again.
Guide's gone, but they heard him again. Go on.
Dick on the table.
That was a hell of a dick slap.
You got a damn stone tip on yours, if that's what that thing sounds like. Maybe they missed him. They could have missed him, I guess. Just kidding.
I feel like that's not possible.
Not possible
That's
at
not
all.
possible.
Yeah.
No, they didn't miss him. He's gone.
Yeah.
It's the old Wendigo down there.
Wendigo, no.
Mimicking him.
Hey, I'm the camp guard.
The guard?
I'm not a Wendigo. I won't kill you and fuck your corpse.
Oh, I do that too? When that come into play?
I promise.
You didn't tell me he'd fuck me. You just said he was going to eat me.
You didn't tell me. Fuck me. This changes everything.
Oh my God.
Perhaps they missed him on the way there and he went to check on the site for himself. Reluctantly, Cal packed up all of his belongings along with the other two campers and headed back to the empty lot. As they walked back, they noticed just how quiet it was. The light rustling of the tall branches stood still. The squeaks of mice and the chirps of birds were non-existent. The bones that dotted...
That scared me a little bit.
Yeah, that's a Wendigo moment we just had.
The bones that dotted the canopy no longer seemed like stars, but thousands of small eyes peering down at them. Goosebumps, sweating, nervous shaking, every inch of the camper's body was screaming, something's wrong. It doesn't make sense. How could they have missed the guide?
And how could he get to the vacant lot without them ever noticing? He couldn't.
He didn't.
I don't think. Also, I like the goosebumps, sweating, nervous shaking, shit, leaking.
Yeah, I like
out of my butt.
I like the it doesn't make sense. No shit.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Really.
Yeah, you're just now starting to feel that way.
Yeah, you just now starting to get a little red flag up in here. It doesn't make sense. It hasn't.
Yeah,
For a
it
while.
hasn't this whole time.
Yeah. They made it to the lot once more, but to their irritation, the guide was not there. They had tried communicating with the guide, asking questions like, "Where are you?" and saying, "Stay right there. We'll come to you." Huh?
Wait. He said that? Or they're
saying that to him.
They're saying stay right there, but they don't know where he is.
Yeah, they just hear him saying stuff off in the distance, and they're trying to like find the guy. But in reality, it's the Wendigo. Wendig.
A Wendig.
That's the Wendig, bud.
That's what me and the homies call him, Wendig.
I said something naughty. I said something naughty.
Oh!
I said something naughty. Shoo! But the guy would not respond or answer the questions. Instead, over and over and over, he cried,
"Hello? Is anyone there?"
I like that. That was good. You should be a voice actor. Eventually, the shouts took them off the path
And into the woods. Cowell had taken out his compass to try and note how to get back, but the needle on it spun wildly.
So they also are like a sun. They can produce electromagnetic interference.
Apparently.
These things are fucking talented.
I didn't know they could do all this.
Me neither. I thought they were just kind of scary. I didn't realize
I thought they
had
ate people and had antlers on their head.
They had talents. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Talents and shit. I kind of want to watch a Wendigo movie now.
I don't.
Fair?
All the events tied together were starting to overwhelm Cowell. Then, they came to a large cave entrance. Around it were strange markings and several more of those bone structures. But above all else, a foul, putrid odor escaped the cave.
Don't go in the cave.
Oh,
Don't. They're going to go in the cave, aren't they?
I think they have to.
They're going to go in the cave.
At this point of the story, I believe they have to. They're obligated to go in the cave and die.
Don't go to caves. Don't go into caves that have strange markings around them.
Or smell.
Or smell.
I won't go in a public restroom if it smells. All right? And you just go in there and piss. It's all right.
They do also have strange markings.
That's true. For a good time, call Clint. 867-530-99.
Then another cry. This time it was a woman's, saying,
"Help! We're down here!" My voice cracked as a woman a little bit.
It came from deep within the cave. It was almost too faint to hear. More screams and cries followed, and the old man caved in and ventured into the cave. The boy followed.
And that's a little pun.
Yeah,
He caved in. Good one.
They turned, asking Cal to join them, but every muscle in his body refused him entry, as if he knew that if he went in, he wouldn't come out. The old man and the scout went into the cave without him, as Cal knew he had made the right choice, but could not escape the feeling that he had irritated something or someone.
Yeah, the monster in the fucking cave that wanted to eat 3 people.
Yeah.
And it's only gonna be able to eat 2.
Yeah.
Now, you irritated the monster.
Cal, why is he still there? At this point, I mean, 10 minutes have gone by.
Yeah.
Nobody's left the cave yet.
Yeah.
Leave.
Yeah, go. Just
Okay.
Go find the police
Leave.
or fucking go to a Best Western and just...
Because it's not like this is in the middle of the woods. This is down a trail. Just go
knows
back
where he
the
is.
other way.
Well, this is off the... Because remember, he had the compass.
This is off the
But
trail.
his compass was spinning... Oh, he's dead. He's fucked.
Yeah, he's fucked.
All right.
All right, go in the cave. Why
Yeah,
not?
go in the cave, might as well.
First, 10 minutes went by, then an hour, then 2. He was too afraid to call out anymore, but he couldn't understand why. As Cowell sat,
He felt as if someone was staring a hole directly into his head. I knew you were going to do something like that. I like that, though.
And then back.
he scanned the bush line for a few minutes when he then saw it. In a far-off bush, 2 human eyes staring at him unblinking. He fought off the urge to vomit. He pretended not to see it and calmly walked away. The moment he knew that he had escaped the creature's field of vision, he made a mad dash.
What? He's just like, oh,
He's
all right, yeah.
You're telling. So I mean, at that point, I feel like, is that what you would do?
Fucking no, dude.
You see a human and you're just like, I'm a run.
Yeah, and also you see a human staring at you like this, just fucking staring at you from a bush.
Yeah.
And you're like, for one, how long has it been since you've seen people? Are you going to go, oh my God, a person? Who is that?
Yeah.
Or are you going to be like, just start fucking screaming and stare back at it.
Yeah. I think that's what you do. You pull the power move and you just stare right back at
And then you
it.
start masturbating.
Yes,
aggressively.
absolutely. That's the way you live. That's how you survive this.
Yeah.
You beat off.
Yeah, then the Wendigo forms a rainbow. And then he realizes that he is an LGBTQ individual.
Exactly.
And he's accepted by his family finally after all these years. And it just took you furiously masturbating while making direct eye contact to change his life.
You think the Wendigo is non-binary?
I hope so. I hope he's progressive.
Yeah.
Hope they're progressive.
They, them.
He ran through bushes, around trees, over creeks. He ran and ran until he came across a familiar area. He had seen it once in the pamphlet of the camping site. This was where they were supposed to stay. It was a large clearing in the trees with a totem pole in the center, except in person, the totem pole was slashed to the point it was almost unrecognizable. Deep cuts covered the totem pole from top to bottom. It was unexplainable how they could have gotten there. As his panic subsided, it rose once more after he noticed a familiar odor looming over the grounds.
Uh-oh.
Shit. Somebody diarrheaed in the diaper. All right. And also, your panic subsiding, it would never subside.
No.
Mine wouldn't.
No. Never again.
Never again. I just be like, all right, well, this is my new norm now. My new norm is a 140 BPM heart, sweating armpits, and just a jackhammering left hand, violently masturbating, whilst making a wide open eye.
Forever.
Yeah, forever. What's that called? There's like a name for when you show the whites of your eyes like this. Crazy people do it. Like they can't help it. They do this. Cal turned and trained his eyes around to find the clearing surrounded by the bone-like structures once more.
Oh, God.
This time, however, he could clearly see what the bones belonged to, and one bone stood out among the rest. A human jaw. There's where everybody is.
Yep.
Rest in peace, I guess.
They're dead.
If he had not thought his life was in danger, he knew it now more than ever. A similar rain fell from the sky, blotting out the sun, bringing the ever-so-vibrant forest to a much duller gray. In the distance, Cal saw a maintenance shed. Its walls looked ready to fall at any minute, but it still had a roof, which is all he needed. An hour went by with no sign of the rain coming to an end when large
footsteps stepped towards the cabin.
Oh, shit.
Not good. That's bad.
That's his
Large footsteps?
large,
Like,
big ones.
Like goofy 11s, like what I got? Or you think like D width, E width,
Double E's.
double E width.
Big old double E's.
Goofy fucking freaky 12s with double E width. Just
You think it's a Bigfoot?
Oh my God. Is that its seventh ability? Is that it's also the Bigfoot?
It's also a Bigfoot?
Fuck.
For a while, they circled around until it stopped and spoke, a voice that Cal had heard before. It was the guide's, but being this close to it, he could tell something was different. Each word was bubbled from its stomach, guttural in tone. It breathed deeply after each word in agony. It was unnoticeable when he was farther away, but up close, it could not be ignored. It called for him, all while Cal cowered in the shed. After minutes of calling, it began to become agitated, calling out more frequently and louder, sounding nothing like the guide anymore, but like an animal that just learned how to use its tongue.
That's scary.
That's very
That's
scary.
really scary. I don't like that.
I don't like this at all. What does that sound like?
Finally, it fell silent. Then it spoke one singular word. Cowl.
Cowl.
That's his name.
Cowl.
Cowl.
Cowl. What does cowl sound like to something that's just learning how to use its tongue?
It
Slashed at the shed and tore a large hole in the wall. A pale, lanky arm stretched its way into the shed, its nimble fingers dancing towards his face. He knocked its hand away with force and pushed the door open, bolting back into the woods. As he created distance, the creature scrambled and smashed the shed to pieces, then let out another shrill scream that made Cowl want to curl up into a ball, but he pushed forward. He ran seemingly in random directions through the rain, trees, and mud, hoping to lose the creature, sparingly using his flashlights so as not to bring attention. His feet beat down on the moist earth
with less and less force until he fell to his knees, gasping for air. But when he tried to relieve his lungs with oxygen, they were only filled with filth. What? Someone farted, I guess.
Right in his lungs.
Directly into his lungs, not even his mouth.
Yeah, no. See, they skipped over that, went straight to the lung.
Right into his little air sacs. He'd arrived back at the cave. He was hesitant to go in, but the strong wind now picking up had helped him make his decision. He turned on his flashlight and entered the pungent cave. Why, though?
Why would you?
Didn't you already make this decision, Cal?
We've already dealt with the cave.
The cave is like not even a question.
Yeah. You don't go to the cave.
Not after what we learned.
Them nimble fingers are going to get you.
Yeah, them
in the
nimble
cave.
slashing fingers smashing.
That's where it lives. It
That's
lives in the cave.
Yeah, exactly.
You just went into its house.
And you didn't even knock.
That's a power move. We were talking about beating off plump cocks earlier and that being a power move.
Ferocious masturbating.
This is a power move.
Yeah, that's true. I agree with that. Yeah. That's a power move.
It certainly won't want to come home and just eat you there.
Yeah, and kill you, and then fuck you.
Cal went deep into the cave, trying not to gag on the increasingly horrid smell. As he walked through, he could see bones scattered across the ground, ranging in size. Some from small creatures appearing like they belonged to a mouse, but the deeper he got into the cave, the less clean the bones were. Some still having rotted flesh on them, some with maggots, and the sound of flies buzzing filled the cave. Cal had to cover his mouth and nose with a rag in his backpack to even continue. He reached a large chamber in the cave system and turned, aiming his flashlight to the back of the room. Scattered around the room were human bones, but at the back laid a mountain of corpses. All of them were mangled to unrecognizable levels. Cal fell to his knees, unable to do anything but weep. From the darkness called an unfamiliar voice. It didn't sound like anyone that came with them on their trip. Their voice echoed through the cave. It sounded like the voice of a younger boy. It called out to him, and in Cal's hysteria, he responded. It asked several questions. Who are you? Where are you? How long have you been here? It prodded him for as much information as possible. More questions went by, it got closer, and Cal started to realize what was happening. He stopped answering. But it was already too late. He trained his flashlight at the entrance of the chamber and watched as it crawled in, its eyes glazed over and pearlescent white. Its skin looked like it had been stretched over a skeleton, and a set of antlers crudely pierced out of its skull. It was an abomination.
And Cal had played his game splendidly.
You don't say.
Yeah, we fucking saw that coming from a mile away.
Absolutely.
Gee, bud. Cal's an idiot.
Cal is not very intelligent.
I thought he was. For
a
a
little bit, I thought he was, but no. When he went back into the cave.
Yeah.
What?
When he didn't even ferociously masturbate.
Not once.
Single stroke. That was bullshit.
He lost me on that one, I tell you.
Yeah, anyways, thanks for watching the Spooky Skeletons podcast on YouTube. Go to Spotify.